I think the end of this year, the fourth quarter is going to be a really big deal for a lot of advisors, but it's the work they put in now.
Hi, I'm John Sullivan with 401k Specialist, and the voice you heard was Jake Rushton, a tech-savvy advisor from Salt Lake City who is doing some amazing things with social media engagement. He's part of a younger generation of plan professionals who are actually making the 401k fun, attracting attention and clients by doing so. We asked him about current regulations and their effect on his business, the benefits of targeting a market niche, and the flood of new business he's receiving from a reopening economy. Jake joins us right after these messages.
Retirement is changing. So is the way we plan for it. If you think retirement means you can't keep building for the future, that adventure is only for the young, or that long-term investing should stop at retirement, let's retire that thinking. And if you think every target date fund can deliver the same long-term results, let's retire that thinking too. Can I give my clients a target date fund that helps their employees retire their way? With Capital Group, I can. Visit capitalgroup.com today. Talk to your financial professional for investment risks and information. American Funds Distributors, Inc., member FINRA.
Jake, you're a top 401k practitioner, so I'd like to begin by asking about recent regulation and its effect on your business. Are you encouraged by what you see, nervous, or maybe both?
You know, John, I actually don't try to get distracted by those things. Speculating on what the government will do is always fun, and I think a lot of people like to do that. For me, I'm living right here and now, and so what I do is try to educate people on what they can do with their taxes using a 401k plan.
Well, that brings us to the next question then. How do you feel about the prospect of higher taxes and therefore the Roth versus traditional 401ks? And why would you talk smack about our friend Jeannie Fisher?
You know, I love this debate because there's a huge push in our industry for Roth, and I totally get it. I understand, as far as, taxes in the future most likely will go up, and who that will impact will be probably my target demographic. I focus on physician, and they have a lot of income. And so they're often in the highest bracket. And so for me, knowing how to navigate that right now for them is really critical. But what we're missing is what is happening in their retirement. How much are they spending? Are they going to continue that high spending level? Because we're often just thinking about, well, the taxes are going to go up higher, but that doesn't mean you're going to be spending the same amount in retirement. So there's a lot more that goes into that whole equation of deciding, should I do traditional, should I do Roth? But there's also times when you can convert. So I definitely like to talk through it, and I don't think there's one blanket answer based on your income or your age.
That's good, though. You said that you target physicians. What are the benefits of targeting a niche like that? And what are maybe some of the disadvantages?
It's been a huge change for our firm. We've grown so much faster because we've gone into that niche. We know what we specialize in. It's allowed me to enter their world and understand their problems outside of just the 401k plan. So I'm much more able to have conversations with them. And it's led to other opportunities as well because they have friends and they tell people, and it's led to more referral business. And I think a lot of advisors miss that opportunity. They struggle. They try to cast their net really wide and be everything to everyone. And in doing that, no one really knows who to send them. And so for us, it's been a real great thing for me in my practice.
You're going to stick with physicians, or are you looking at other niches?
We've been recently working with some dentists. And so, there's definitely professionals that are in that same situation where they're running a business, they have higher income levels. A lot of them still have some student debt. And so they're really trying to navigate, when they're in a 37% federal tax bracket and they're in, paying their state, sometimes half of their last dollars earned are gone. And just teaching them how that works and how they can really leverage the 401k and a cash balance plan to maximize what they can right now for their future is so impactful. And I'm oftentimes, when I meet with these professionals, I'll ask them a question. Do you know your difference between your effective tax rate and your marginal? And I'm blown away how many don't know. Right. And these are people that are very educated, have gone to school a long time. So we need to do a better job at really starting there with educating, every single person we meet in the 401k industry. That should be our focus.
Is there are they impressed, or is there almost a sense of relief that know their specific issues and what they're dealing with when it comes to income and saving?
I think it gives them a lot more confidence in what we can do to help them because we understand their situation, and it leads to a better result because we can have a good conversation about what they should and shouldn't do and give them some good case studies of actual results we've seen, and let them know if they don't take action right now, this is the result. We've seen it. We've been there. We're trying to help people out of that, of not, using their 401k early. I get a lot of pushback from a lot of doctors that just don't believe in the 401k. They don't believe in cash balance plans. They don't understand it. So they do other things. And it's interesting to see some of them change as we start to educate them and help them understand. I'm not trying to do this out of some benefit for me. Obviously, we make money, we have to get paid for what we do, but I really want them to benefit. And once they see that I have that real interest in them and not in myself and making commissions or any other product I'm trying to push, they really kind of open up, and then they actually will take some time to learn and understand, and then we see some change.
That's great. You said you're incredibly busy, and indeed, we only had kind of a small window to chat this week. So, is it because of the current market environment, demographics? What's fueling it?
I think what happened with the pandemic, everybody put their 401k decision making on hold. I think there was a lot of things that just paused. And so now we're kind of coming out of that. People are starting to review their plans. They had some time during the pandemic to look at their money, to look at their accounts, to really understand what was going on, at least in my, in the physician niche. And so now they're taking action. So I really think this year has just been so busy because of that. Now they have time. Now they know they need to do something about it. And then you add the regulation that could be coming out, the changes to the tax, the government spending, all these things are kind of fueling that fire to take action now to really leverage what they can before it possibly could change.
That's really interesting. You think about movie theaters opening back up and airlines and restaurants. I didn't think of 401ks, but that absolutely makes sense.
It's really been interesting. I think a lot of advisors I talk to are feeling the same thing. They're seeing a lot more activity. They're having a lot more proposals going out. There's a lot more happening. So it's been a good thing. I think the end of this year, the fourth quarter is going to be a really big deal for a lot of advisors, but it's the work they put in now. I mean, that's the most critical thing. Is you can't think that in the fourth quarter you're going to show up and have them make a change. You've got to do some effort to really get to know your clients and have them get to know, like, and trust you. Otherwise, you're going to miss the opportunity.
That's a great point. So, all right, I've got to ask, what are your views of PEPs?
I love this question. I've tried to stay pretty open-minded about it. And I kind of have found that not a single prospect or client or anyone I know that's outside of the industry knows what that is or has heard it or mentioned it to me. So to me, I like to listen more to my customer and my client than I do the industry. And I think it's kind of reverse, where we're trying to push down the PEP to all of us advisors as we need to distribute this and we need to sell it. My clients don't want that. They're not asking for that. It's not really structured in a way that I think is beneficial to them, especially when I'm working with cash balance plans. I have a much better and easier time working with my TPAs and actuaries when we have a single plan and not in a PEP. So it just doesn't fit my niche. But that being said, I think there are some small scenarios where it could work. I agree with JD on that, as far as there are times when it could make sense. And I work with a MEP, and when it does make sense in that setting, to me, it's the payroll, the whole connection's done for the business owner. And that's awesome, because that's where the mistakes happen. So I like that part of it. So there's good and bad, but for me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Do you think it's going to be the sea change that everybody is predicting, that it's going to come in and flood the market, or is it kind of overwrought at this point?
I don't expect it to continue. No, I don't think there's going to be a massive move to PEPs. I think we'll see some bigger firms, roll theirs out, and they'll get a little bit of marketing buzz around it. But from what I see in my world, I don't see that happening.
Understood. So you're doing something unique and really cool from a marketing standpoint with a 401k club. What is it, and how, in your words, is it changing the industry?
Well, so what drives me every single day is I want to improve the lives of those participants in these 401k plans. And one of the biggest impacts I've been able to have is to coach advisors. And so during the pandemic, I really tried to figure that out. I tried to build some online courses because I just did not see a clear path for people to enter our industry. It's just everyone kind of has a weird story how they fell into it and they fell in love with it and they stayed here. But I never heard about it in high school or college. And it's just, I think we need to do a better job of recruiting and teaching people about our industry. But even when you're in the industry, it's very lonely. And I made tons of mistakes. I was an advisor for 10 years that's when I entered the 401k industry, and it was a completely new world. And I made tons of mistakes. I had to learn along the way. My clients were the ones that had to suffer through those. And I want to shorten that. I don't want advisors to fall into this like I did and learn from wholesalers who didn't get any training themselves. I want to change that. So the 401 Club was created to build a community to help more advisors and anyone in the industry come together, share resources, help each other, have an abundance mindset that even if you're in the same market with another advisor, there's so much need clients that need the opportunity to work with you, that we can help each other. I actually have another advisor coming in here right after this. We're making some videos together to help him. He is in my market right in Salt Lake City. And so I'm excited to see him win more plans. So that's the mindset I'm trying to change with this 401 club.
Now, I called it the 401k club. I want to be clear that it's the 401 club. Where can they go if listeners want to get more information?
Yeah, just 401club.com. You can find me. I'm all over LinkedIn. I do a lot on social media, but LinkedIn's definitely the place where I spend most of my time online just interacting with people. But yeah, 401 Club, and that's with a K. Obviously, I wear everything I have pretty much has a K in parentheses on it now, which is another part of just a way to market. It's a way to start conversations.
Great branding.
So I love this industry so much.
Jake Rushton, that is exactly what we needed. Thank you so much for joining us. I do appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Retirement is changing. So is the way we plan for it. If you think retirement means you can't keep building for the future, that adventure is only for the young, or that long-term investing should stop at retirement, let's retire that thinking. And if you think every target date fund can deliver the same long-term results, let's retire that thinking too. Can I give my clients a target date fund that helps their employees retire their way? With Capital Group, I can. Visit capitalgroup.com today. Talk to your financial professional for investment risks and information. American Funds Distributors, Inc., member FINRA.